All right, just talking with Lockport Fire Protection District Chief John O'Connor and about the new fire protection training facility being built in Crest Hill. Can you just tell me, after over a year working on getting this approval, how does that feel to actually have it officially set by the City Council and moving into construction?
It's a relief. It was 18 months working with the City of Crest Hill, and it's been another 4 years total of acquisition of the property and working with the fire district trustee board and getting architectural firm as well as core construction. All those pieces aligned to create this 13-acre training facility has been it's been a lot of work. So finally getting approval from the city is a relief, and we're excited to move forward.
And over the course of those 4 years and a year and a half working with the city, how did the plan kind of evolve due to resident concerns?
Well, initially, when we first brought the idea to the City of Crest Hill administration, like we were saying at the City Council meetings, this is a first-time process for us. We've never done anything like this in the City of Crest Hill in recent times. Station 2 was built in the 60s. So it's been an educational process for us to try to figure out what is the steps, what's the process. So we initially met with City of Crest Hill administration, giving the idea of what we wanted to do after we were granted land from the state. So that process began, 18 months to 2 years ago, trying to find out what is the next step for us moving forward this process. This is our idea. And at that point, we didn't even have the project approved by our board yet. So it wasn't anything, it was a fact-finding mission. So that was information that we were going to get to present to our board as far as what's the process going to entail, what's the cost of this project, and then what do we want to do with this 13-acre parcel. So that started about 2 years ago with the city, and administration's been very helpful. It's as you know, in the city council meetings and all the workshops, I mean, we present in front of the City Council about 4 or 5 times over the past 18 months, so it's progressed quite a bit from conceptual phase into what it is right now as far as the reality goes.
Okay, and so I know as part of that progress recently, it was decided there was going to be an oversight board that was going to be appointed to talk about concerns with noise or other issues with the fire training and the gun range. Could you please explain for the readers how that process is going to get started and what that board is going to entail?
So that was an idea from Council Member Joe Kubal to come up with some sort of collaborative committee between the public safety agencies and the community. So it was something that we drafted after the last workshop as a proposal to see, hey, can we find a way to meet in the middle so you do have an avenue for members of the public to talk one-on-one with public safety. So that committee will consist of a member of the fire district, a member of Lockport Police, a member of Crest Hill Police, a member of city administration, and then from the community, it'll be a member of the HOA of the Longview subdivision, which is close to the fire training facility, and then 2 citizens appointed by the City of Crest Hill and 2 citizens appointed by the Fire District Board. The initial plan is to meet quarterly and then as needed, and then that committee will be established before the training facility is complete. So day one, we instantly have a mechanism of collaboration to discuss any concerns that may or may not come up.
Okay, and then when is that completion scheduled for? What is the projected timeline at this point for the facility being ready to be operational?
So the timing of it is that most construction companies already have their work planned out for the year. So we're going to meet with FGMA and Core Construction tomorrow to try to get some sort of timeline as far as when the bids can go out and when we can actually break ground. I would like to move as fast as possible. Ideally, we would like to do break ground in the fall, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the bids come out and what kind of timeline Corps has. But we're anticipating from the time we break down to the time we're completed for 1 year.
Okay, and the bids are hopefully going to be put out this
summer. Yeah.
Once that construction is done, and the board is in place and everything is ready to go, what are the benefits to the community? I know at one of the city council meetings you were talking about ratings for the fire department. What are the benefits of all of this for the residents?
So what this training facility would provide is realistic training to our public safety agencies, including Lockport Fire. Right now, we go all over to try to get training. We're not one of the fire departments that have their own burn facility. So getting live fire training is very difficult for us. We have to use someone else's training facility. So this time, we'll be able to have that at our fingertips. It'll improve training overall for not just the fire district, but all the MABUS divisions. Right now, we're in MABUS 19. And that's mutually box alarm system. So it's basically geographically located departments that work together. And so we train together every month. This gives us a place to train at. Additionally, you're talking about a rating system. Now that was ISO. And right now Lockport is in ISO 2. And that is the ISO rating is used by insurance companies. And they base their rates off of the type of public safety provided through fire protection, and that's where they get their rating from. It's a bunch of different categories, and one that's holding us up is a training facility points for it, and we don't have that. We have all the maximum points you can get outside of having your own training facility in Burn Tower, so that's holding us up from an ISO 1. If you have an ISO 1, you'll have the lowest rates for community for fire protection. So that's one advantage. This could be a backup EOC to Will County EMA. We've already met with leadership from Will County EMA, and we have everything in place for this to be a backup. What else? With this training facility in place, we'll move all our reserve equipment into the maintenance end of it, and our maintenance will be there as well. Right now they work out of Station 6. Station 6 is our largest, most staffed and centrally located fire station in all of Lockport Township Fire Protection District. So the advantage of being centrally located, we're going to place all of our specialty team equipment here. So right now our specialty team equipment, which includes hazmat, dive, search and rescue, technical rescue, investigations, they're scattered throughout the 6 stations, the fire district, wherever we have room. Response times vary depending on where those calls are at. If we can have those all centrally located, we reduce response times for any type of specialty type incident. And those are high risk, low frequency type calls that you need to get the equipment there as soon as possible. So that's a huge advantage operationally for us. And we have extra room for, who knows what's going to be the next area where we have to expand our services to. The most recent is search and rescue, where you include drones and you include search canines. That's not something we had in the past 5 years, and it's something that's the fire service in our area has adopted. So it's never ending. It seems like the list of things that we're responsible for, and all those require training to be proficient at.
As all of those things, the canine, the drones, the dive, search and rescue operations, that can all be done in addition to the burn tower exercises at this new facility.
That's right. That was the goal from the start, is to have a one-stop shop. There's a lot of fire departments that have burn facilities, and some areas have a rubble pile for search and rescue. Our goal is to create one training facility centrally located in the district where all our companies can come in and train and still remain in limited service and still be able to respond within a reasonable amount of time. So that's the key for this, and that's why this location was ideal.
Now I know the big concern in the community was the gun range. Could you just reiterate what the official plan for the hours of of operation on that are for at this point? I know it's been changed a few times through.
So the issue with the gun range is right now there are 2 gun ranges within a mile. One's operated by state police, the other is operated by Department of Corrections at Stateville. Those are used by agencies all throughout northern Illinois. They're heavily used, and there's no sound mitigation to either of those ranges. They've been in operation for many, many years. The problem with the Lockport Township agencies that we want to provide is an area where they don't have to bide for time with these other agencies in the Chicagoland area. They have a place of their own where they can shoot and do as much training as they want instead of just the state standard minimum. But how ours is different is the sound mitigation efforts that we put in place in the construction of this range. So some of the things that we changed, and originally, throughout this whole process in the 18 months, we've learned a lot of some of the concerns of the community that we weren't initially aware of. Sound was a big thing for the subdivision closest, right across from on Division Street. So we learned that, and we went to work. We went to work in finding out, how to mitigate sound. And it's not something we were initially experts on, but we've learned a lot in a very short amount of time. So one of the things we did from the initial plans of the range is we moved it furthest away from the closest subdivision. We made sure the direction of fire is in the opposite direction. That makes a big difference because the majority of sound goes in the direction of fire. Instead of just a back berm, we had put berms on all 3 sides, and we increased those berms to 24 foot tall. We learned that sound direction, it can reflect back, but it doesn't come back. So if sound goes up, it doesn't come back down. So that's kind of the goal, is create the funnel of sound going straight up. We also did a back sound wall, similar to what you find along the highway, where that can block sound as well. So this range is surrounded on all 4 sides, whereas the other 2 ranges just have a backstop to stop the bullets. We also moved our classroom building, in between the closest subdivision and our gun range as an additional physical barrier to block sound. We increased natural vegetation in that area, which absorbs sound. What else? We've been very cognizant of what we can do to be good neighbors in that community. We also did a sound study by a sound engineer company, and to do a 3D model of what the range would produce without mitigation and what it would produce with our sound mitigation barriers in place. And it was substantial. It cut the volume in half in the closest subdivision, and then also they did points throughout the community of what that sound would be with a handgun and a rifle. So the changes we've made have been significant, and I think by taking those 5 departments that are going to shoot at the Lockport Township range, who normally would shoot at the State Police and District 5 range, is actually going to make the community quieter, because those same agencies are now shooting at a quieter range. So I'm hoping, and time will tell, I think really to some point people won't be satisfied until they actually see it in place. So, and I'm pretty confident that what we're going to do is really going to satisfy the community members, which we're a part of.
Okay, thank you. And the last question I was going to ask was, the bids are going out this summer. What is the expected budget of this project, and how is that going to be paid off so that it doesn't impact the taxpayers, or has a minimal impact on the taxpayers?
So the anticipated cost of the project is $16 million. We have $1 million from capital, $15 million is going to be a bond, not additional taxes. It's a loan similar to a mortgage, and we're going to pay that off over the course of 20 years. Our financial advisor has marked it out for the next 10 years of what that cost will be. We're very financially conscientious, and I think we have a very good plan in place.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to the residents about the project going forward, now that it's officially been greenlit?
We put the whole project presentation that we provided to the City Council on our website. You guys can access that. if you weren't able to see it, I think they televise the city council meetings as well. But if you like, go onto our website, it's on the front page. You can see through it, and then our information's on there. If you have any questions, you can email me or pick up the phone and call me, and I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.